For years now, we've noticed people having fun with van life on YouTube, and it was something that really struck us from the beginning because it really checks a lot of the boxes of things that we enjoy. We love adventure and being outside, and we're very curious. And so we thought that looked like a lot of fun, and it was something that we decided if and when we do it, we would go full-time. So our goal with van life setting out was to see things that we'd never seen before and go places we'd never been, such as go up the Pacific coast, go down the East Coast, and we really want to go into Mexico and maybe even head all the way down into Panama. So we're just kind of playing it and holding it loosely because weather and because of our newness at this, we're just not sure how far we're going to go or how long it's going to last, but in the meantime, we're having fun.
And we're looking for a place where we might want to end up permanently. We don't know the words for it, but there's a certain feel that we're looking for, and we're just trying to find that, to know where we want to build a home and finish off our years.
We're just looking for the place that we don't want to say goodbye to, and I have no idea where that's going to be. So that's kind of part of the fun of it. When we first started talking about van life and then actually pulled the plug and decided to do it, we were kind of terrified that we were going to put all of our eggs in this basket and then hate it. But now we are like 3 months into it, and while we've had some more challenges than we expected originally, we found that it is just as rewarding as it is challenging, and we're pretty happy.
Another concern that we had was we designed all of our systems and things in this van, and we weren't sure how it was going to perform with the movement of the van, but we just followed normal plumbing practices and electrical practices, and everything has done really well. We've not had any leaks or electrical issues or anything, or even with the propane. So those were definite concerns, but as time goes, we feel more and more confident.
This is our van that we converted DIY last year. 9 hardest months of our life. It is now our little home on wheels. We're traveling full-time in it. This is a 2021 Ford Transit all-wheel drive. It's a 350 high roof, long wheelbase extended. It's the biggest one we could find.
And the length of the van is about 22 feet. It's the EcoBoost 3.5 liter all-wheel drive. We paid about $55,000 for the van brand new. It took about 4 months for Ford to build the van, and it took us 9 months to build it out ourselves, and our cost was about $35,000.
So in all, we were in about $90,000.
We wouldn't be able to afford this lifestyle if we did not go into full-time van life, because we didn't have income that would support the van and rent or mortgage for a traditional type living. So we decided to go full-time van life. We had money saved up for 2 or 3 years that fit our budgetary needs. And then in the meantime, we're working on building our online presence and some business opportunities. Holly is a life coach and a marriage coach. So Holly and I have a channel on YouTube. It's The Queen and Bob. My name's not Bob and her name's not The Queen, but I'm Shane and she's Holly. So why am I Bob?
Everybody wants to know why he's Bob and not Shane.
One of the things that we like the most since we started RVing is just traveling around and seeing different parts of the country and meeting different people. We've met lots of different nomads and made new friends, and that's really been rewarding.
The sense of wanderlust when it really hits you is just kind of invigorating. Like, wow, I can leave tomorrow, or I can stay, or I can go as far as I want and see things I've never seen, and it actually is pretty exciting. Hands down, my favorite part of this van is the kitchen because I love to cook, and so wanting to have a stove and an oven and a big sink and that didn't seem possible at first, but we got creative. So we did an inset sink where we could have the drying rack and the cutting board double up as part of our counter space. And honestly, the bottom part of this is kind of like a second level counter space because we can drop our dirty dishes in here and put things to store in here. I can even water my plants in here and just let them set, put this back, and I still have all this counter space to use. Another thing we loved was that the Furrion was an inset. It's like a flat surface, so we are able to set things on here again at night and things like that. And we did a flip-up countertop so that we could use this when we wanted to and then drop it down if we were using the seating area more. When designing a van, space is obviously at a premium, and one of the biggest sacrifices we made on space was for an 8 cubic foot Furrion fridge. The reason we did this is because we were definitely concerned about being able to be off-grid for long periods of time and still maintain my cooking regimen. So we have a freezer and a fridge section, and I'm absolutely in love with it. And then right next to the fridge, we put my other favorite thing in the van, which is my slide out pantry. So I have a ton of extra storage space in there for all the dry goods, and that actually gets used quite a bit. And then the way I managed to get all the other things I wanted in the van was just by being really creative and economical with space in here. Shane built me these amazing cabinets, so I'm able to keep all of the things in here. Lots and lots of storage. All of my spices, breads, more dry goods, a few other kitchen items. We decided to put my dishes cabinet up here. I do have actual breakable dishes in here, although we do tend to use paper plates a lot. It's nice to be able to pull out the nicer things. And I just keep some pads, shelf liner in between them when we're traveling, just so that they don't rattle around too much. Keep my glasses in here. And it really seems like a little bit, but we have everything we need in here. Some of the design touches that we put in here were just aesthetic only, and one of those things is this little knob that I picked out at Hobby Lobby. It's the only knob I have in the van, so I went ahead and got a cute one. Usually cook Shane and I 2 meals a day in here. So first thing in the morning, I'll cook us some breakfast, and then for lunch, it's usually another hot meal because, like I said, I love to cook and Bob likes to eat, so it works out pretty great. One of the drawbacks to cooking so much is using a lot more water for dishes. I do have a system for keeping that down to a minimum, but one thing that really helps us is having 50 gallons of freshwater capacity. And so we do have 2 25-gallon tanks under the benches back here, and those feed directly into our sink. This oven is what powers the show in the kitchen. So we have 3 propane burners on the top, and we do have a propane tank under the van that powers this, along with a couple of water heaters and our Propex air heater. I love this because I also have a 21-inch oven inside of here. Pardon the breadcrumbs because I've been cooking in it, but I actually pulled this out of my Breville toaster oven and have just kept this in here because it's quite handy to just throw things in and out. And this actually works pretty great.
What I really love about our van is this coffee drawer right here. I don't drink coffee, but Holly makes me so much good food that I like to make her coffee every morning. All of her coffee supply is right there, and it's all plugged in already, so I don't have to pull it out, set it on the counter. I can just slide the drawer out, make Holly's coffee, and it gives me a lot of pleasure every morning just to make that for her. And the other thing that I really like are just these little shelves, and the shelves in the back. I hate clutter in the van, and we found that things like shelves to put our wallet, or hooks for our sunglasses, or things for like our pens or our candles on the back there, those have been a game changer for us. So I really love those things.
In addition to the water tanks underneath our benches, we also have storage for our electrical up here. And so for our electrical powering the van, we have 3 sources for charging. We've got 630 watts of solar on the roof. We have a DC to DC charger connected to our alternator, and we have an inverter charger that will accept shore power. So all of that powers 510 amp hours of battery that is in here. Our system in all is pretty powerful, and it works really great. My latest addition to my kitchen, which I never thought I'd have in a van, is a 3-quart Instant Pot. I love this thing. I have cooked so many things in this already, and I just love the fact that if we decide we want to go out for the day, I can leave this cooking, because obviously you're not going to leave a propane burning in your van while you're gone. So this gives me a whole world of options for slow cooked meals.
One of the most challenging things for me with RVing is the nightly things like finding a place to sleep that you feel safe in, that's level, that is perhaps inconspicuous if you're in the city, or you're trying to find something that is beautiful if you're in the country. And it can be a real challenge finding those locations to park.
Another thing that's been pretty big on the mindset level has been adjusting our concept of what is acceptable or great, because when you live in a traditional lifestyle, things are a lot different. And so we've had to do some adjustment with that. This table doubles up as the middle section for our bed. And so during day mode, we actually have it on a lagoon swivel mount. And so it's really handy because whenever we're watching TV, we can actually put it this way and lean against these. Or if I'm working, we can work opposite each other, or there's a million different ways we could put this. And so that's actually pretty handy. Because we had a bulkhead, that limited our seating options to the back of the van. So we opted for a convertible space, and that actually isn't as bad as everybody's made it out to be. We spend about 5 minutes at night putting the bed together and about 5 minutes in the morning taking it back apart. Ta-da! So back here, I have all of my storage on this side for my clothes and my toiletries, and I actually am very pleased with the amount of storage I have. I still don't wear all of my clothes, so I might actually need to downsize a little. And on this side is Bob's. So Bob has his clothes, and he has a PlayStation tucked in here. So we have 110 outlets wired to the back of these, and he has his PlayStation plugged in. The back end of our van serves as our garage, and we have found that a really handy space for just sticking all kinds of utility things. So in addition to where we fill up our water tanks, we also have a container with all of our water fill supplies. We've got our laundry stuff and some extra shoes that we don't use as often. In fact, we might actually end up getting rid of those because we never wear them. But we also have one of our coolest little things in the van is our scooters. We also wired some outlets down there so we can charge our scooters right down there. We just love being able to pull those out and zip around, especially when we're in urban settings. One of our favorite aftermarket add-ons to the van has been the moonshade, because it instantly doubles our living space and it just gives a little bit more of that homey ambiance where we can have a little bit of a front porch and sit outside and enjoy some moments in nature.
Really easy too, and it gives us a lot of versatility on how we set it up. So it's been really a nice tool for us.
When we were first coming up with the floor plan and the design for the van, we were concerned because we quickly started running out of space, and I wanted all the things like a bathroom and a kitchen. So what we decided to do was incorporate our bathroom right into our entryway. So I'm standing in our shower pan right now, but it's actually our entryway, and then our toilet is set into a bench. Doesn't look like a toilet, is actually our bench. And so that's one of the things that's really great about the van, is we were able to get a bathroom in without it being too cluttered or claustrophobic.
Something I wish that we did different with the van is order it with a tow package. That would give us a lot more options for if we wanted to put bikes on the back or extra storage containers or things like that.
I think another thing along those lines is I wish we would have prioritized from the beginning a lift kit and better tires, because now after the fact, being so heavy, we do realize that that's something we're going to have to add. So it would have been nice if we had just planned that from the beginning.
We're pretty happy with our design and the layout of everything. There's just some tweaks that we would do. We have an air vent on our water tanks that we have to manually turn off and on when we park or drive, and we could have put an electric solenoid on that, and that would have saved
That would have been very convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming along on our van tour with us. We love showing our van, and we'd love to answer any questions you might have. You can find us at The Queen and Bob on YouTube, Instagram, Patreon, TikTok. And we chose it because I forgot everything I was going to say. I'm back.
You're back. But honestly, we have everything we need. Dang it, Bob. Here you go, baby.
Thank you so much for coming along and looking at our Thank you so much for coming along.
Sorry.
Thank you so much. Ready? Thank you so much.
What was that? I'm laughing.
Okay, I got this.
Okay,
Stop talking.
my face hurts.
Thank you so much for. I did it again. Thank you so much. The end.